At Subway, start your day the flavorful way by adding new guacamole to your favorite breakfast sandwich. Perfectly made with a hint of jalapeno, our guacamole turns up the flavor to your breakfast. Try it today on a hot and toasty egg, white, and cheese. Subway, eat fresh.
Before we get started in today's show, I want to tell you about Stamps.com, longtime sponsor of the B.S. Report. It's quick, it's convenient. More importantly, it's really, really easy to use. You do not have to go to the post office anymore. You can just stay home. Make your own office, your personal post office. You can avoid lines. You can avoid just standing there as somebody mails some package, some 79-year-old lady. Who needs that? Make your own mailing and shipping from your house. Stamps.com. Put in the top right of the site, BS. You'll get a deal and a scale and a whole bunch of other things. It's a great product. You can buy and print official U.S. postage using your computer and printer. Stamps.com will give you a digital scale. It will automatically calculate the exact postage for any letter, any package. They'll even help you choose the best class of mail. Wow. Why go to the post office? Just give it to the postman. Stamps.com. Check it out.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. It is Labor Day. We are working on Labor Day. Not really working, but kind of working. Actually, shout out to Joe Fuentes, our producer, the hardest working man in show business, who actually came in on Labor Day to record one of the most important podcasts, not only on the Grantland wide variety of networks, but any podcast. This is it. This is the week one line guesses. Cousin Sal, how fired up are you?
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I couldn't wait another day.
Me neither. And you shamed me last year. You called me the NBA guy. You made fun of me that I'd lost my interest in the NFL and
NBA hole. I think it was NBA hole.
NBA hole. I forgot. Yeah. And I've spent all of August really, really getting back to the basics, and I feel very prepared. But miraculously, I never saw the week one lines.
You stayed away. I know. It was very, very difficult to stay away, but we did. I emailed them to you the other night what I was going to do because I had a look.
I waited. I wanted to wait. I wrote them all down. Our first game is Thursday night. You and I recorded about 2.5 hours of division preview. It was the Bill and Sal 2014 NFL Degenerate Gambling Preview. I think 6 of the videos are up now. We did each division. We have a props one as the last one. I think the AFC already ran as a podcast. Mm-hmm. So we taped that 12 days ago. Has anything changed for you in those last 12 days other than you had to burn your Michael Sam jersey because you got waived?
Everything's changed. Actually, nothing's changed as far as what I think is going to happen in each division. But, we would tout the Rams and how well they're going to do, and maybe they have a chance. And then Sam Bradford gets hurt. He's done for the year, like the next day. And the Steelers get arrested for pot. We can't tape these things like more than 6 hours in advance, we learned.
Yeah, we finished taping, and like an hour later, LeGarrette Blount and the other guy, Le'Veon Bell, the pot thing. And then Bradford went down 2 days later.
Yeah.
I guess I've come, I don't know if I want to say full circle. I don't know what the right expression would be, but are we sure Sam Bradford to Sean Hill is that much of a disaster?
Well, no, I don't think so. We all felt the same with Sam Bradford. Oh man, well that's it. The Rams are done. It's whatever little chance they had. Now it's then ESPN stats throws up everything and shows you that Sean Hill is just as serviceable with the 47% efficiency as Sam Bradford. All right, maybe they'll. Yeah,
I don't feel like the Packers lost Aaron Rodgers here. And if I had made a list of the top 30 quarterbacks, Sam Bradford would not have been in the top 20. He would have been in the bottom 10 somewhere.
Right.
And now Sean Hill's in the bottom 10. So I don't know how big of an impact that's going to be. I'm not willing to write them off yet. Anyway, week one lines. Every year, this is, let's see, 08, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is the 7th year we've done this.
Nice.
Each
People
week,
starting to steal this from us, this little gimmick.
Oh, who stole it from us?
Oh, the Mike and all them, and then someone else. I don't know.
Mike and Mike, are they still? They're still on the radio?
I think so. I don't know. Maybe they put them kicked off.
I'm not surprised they stole this from us. Yeah. So every week, we don't check the lines. We write them down. We guess the lines, and then we actually read. Sal looks up the real lines, and we try to figure out who got closer to their pick.
Right.
It's really stupid. It's America's favorite dumb game show.
We never really play for anything, but this year I think we should. I think I have an idea for a prize for the winner.
Well, I get to hit you with the Subway sub twice. We just have never filmed it.
Yeah,
but
you do owe me that.
I owe you 2 Subway sub beatings and I wanted to get like a meatball and cheese.
Right.
Maybe I think we should do the bet that Jacko and I did that Jacko never cashed in on, and now it's expired.
What was it?
I think the loser has to put in his office a picture that the winner picks. And it could be any picture.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. So I could get you, like an Eli Manning, like a framed, like giant Eli Manning thing. And you just have to put it in your office until we do the week 1 lines the following year.
Right. Now, what
Something
if something bad happens and I'm living in a 1-bedroom studio in Tarzana with my wife and 3 kids? It would have to go in our bedroom, right?
Yeah, it would have to go in whatever the office, living room, something like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. All right,
Let's
cool.
do that. Good.
All right, week 1, we have a Thursday night game. NBC, the return of Al Michaels, emotional.
Yes.
The Seahawks and the Packers in Seattle. Interesting, this is the only time the Seahawks will host a nationally televised game at home. Almost like the NFL and the networks don't like having the Seahawks at home because they always blow out teams, right?
Wow, I guess so. And they changed all the rules for the Seahawks. You can't hold. And I'm wondering, maybe they're down on the Seahawks. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe they don't like those 38-10 blowouts.
Fail Mary rematch. How do you see it?
Well, first of all, I'm worried about Russell Wilson. I didn't like the Sports Illustrated article I read about him this weekend.
Yeah.
Just seems like he's moved into that very calculated off the field kind of thing where he's got a lot of he's got worried about his corporate image and he's got juggling all these different things. That scares me a little bit.
He's trying to make some extra money, put diamonds on your fingers and
well, that might be true. He's tripled he makes like $700,000 or something. He's tripled his on-season thing. But I'm worried I got the feeling like I remember reading 2 years ago, I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And then 2 years later, then it comes out, and the Seahawks resented him a little his rookie year. Like, there's little tiny signs that I don't like, but I'm not going to get too carried away with them. I have the Seahawks by 7 over the Packers.
Split this one. This is a good illustration of when we split a game. I said -5. It's right now. It's -6.
-6. They're begging us to tease it with the Bears against the Bills.
Yeah,
they're really begging us.
Usually that home team on the Thursday night is a good teaser game. Take the favorite.
I can't remember the last time Seattle lost at home. I'm sure it's happened, but I just don't even remember when it's happened.
Yeah,
it had to have been 3 years?
They lost to Arizona late. No, they lost to Arizona late in the year last year. It was a shocker.
Oh, not a shocker to us because I think we had Seattle in a 3-team tease.
Yeah, we probably did.
Let's blame ourselves for that. Yeah, right. Oh, that's right, because Russell Wilson was like 14-0 at home.
Right.
And then they lost that game. But they're not losing this game. And, a lot of people really, 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 really like this Packers team, which surprises me because I feel like they're one of those, like they always Millman calls them a public team, Chad Millman, where people just are always in on them a little bit more than maybe they should be. And this year it's been about how awesome their offense is. It's going to be an amazing offense. They're so explosive. Yeah. First of all, they're a cold weather team. Second of all, their defense wasn't good before B.J. Raji got hurt.
Right.
Third, I'm not 100% sold on Mike McCarthy. I say this every year, and I know they won a Super Bowl, but it's not like that team has been running on all cylinders the last couple of years, and I think they're in a really tough division. I'm not as sold.
Yeah, I don't think they get out of that division. I like the Bears for that division, and we talked about it in our podcast, and I think there's just so much Aaron Rodgers can do with all these great defenses that come up. We'll see it Thursday night when they go to a Seattle or a San Francisco or even New Orleans. They have a lot of trouble. Like they're becoming that team. Great regular season, can't do it in playoffs.
I don't love picking. I still haven't decided who I'm picking for the Super Bowl, although I'm leaning in certain directions.
You got time. You got to wait like 20 weeks, and then you'll have it narrowed down.
That's when I should do it. I usually don't like picking back-to-back teams.
Mm-hmm.
But this Seahawks team, they have not really lost. You look at like this last year's team versus this year's team, and normally with the Super Bowl champs, like, they lost that guy. This is trouble. They had to overpay this guy. They're still in a really good spot. And then you look at everything that's happened in that division. San Francisco had another off-field incident over the weekend. Ray McDonald, domestic violence. So he's going to be out for 6 games. It's just been a comedy of errors and arrests and injuries in that division, except for Seattle. It seems like they're in a position of strength even more than last year.
It's true. But you know what? I think one day these Seattle fans are going to decide they're sick of winning and they're going to refrain from making noise in the stadium altogether. And until the 12th man gets paid, everyone talks about Russell Wilson getting paid. The 12th man is going to be silent one day, and everyone's like, whoa, what happened to this advantage?
It's been the rebirth of Seattle this decade. They lost their NBA team, and then they rallied. I think we should tease them with somebody, and let's go through.
All right. Well, here's the next one. Buffalo at Chicago. You mentioned it. This could be the one.
Here's what worries me about this game. I know you love the suicide pools.
Mm-hmm.
There's no great suicide pick this week.
Yeah. Let's talk about this real quick.
Like this Bears would be one of the 2 or 3 games you look at as a suicide pick, and it scares me. I just feel like, everyone has the Bears. Then, C.J. Spiller with an 82-yard run. The Bills are up 7-0. Like, what? And then you're out of your pool in week 1.
It is a little scary, and I don't know.
It's a little scary.
I love this game. I really do. I should take out a temporary restraining order against this game because I'm scared what I might do to it. I love the Bears and hate the Bills this year. I think this is the game. Yeah. I think I'm going with it. But you're right.
Well, we talk about this every year where the week 1, there's like 2 or 3 week 1 games that by week 4 you look back at the week 1 line and you're like, oh my God. So anyway, I picked Bears by 8.5 in this game. What'd you take?
It went a little high there. I hit it exactly. I said 7. So.
See that in 2 weeks this game could be 11.5.
Easily. I don't know. Well, Kyle Orton could be quarterbacking for Buffalo, so then it could be 3.
All right. Well,
3.
I apologize to the Seahawks fans and or the Bears fans because Cousin Sal and I are about to ruin your week 1.
Yeah, and to the gamblers because it's very bad that we've only covered 2 games and we already like our bet for the week.
I already have my lock of the year. The Seahawks Bears tease. I mean, hold on, I got to take out more money.
New Orleans at Atlanta.
So the last thing on the Bills.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Kyle Orton's just kind of lingering, but they don't have the balls to actually make him the starter because they don't want to admit that E.J. Manuel just hasn't shown anything.
Right, yeah. They supported him all year, and this is. I think this is Doug Marone's undoing right here. This is why I wanted to take him at 8-1 to be the first coach fired. I think we could still do that.
What are the odds now? Hold on, let's look at that. Well, go to the next game, and I'm going to look up the odds really quickly.
New Orleans at Atlanta.
Oh.
I'll talk about this while you look up the odds.
So I had trouble with this one because I know how I feel about Atlanta, and I'm not sure how other people feel about Atlanta. I'm not sure if Vegas is more bullish on them than I am. I'm not that bullish on them. I decided a middle, and I went Saints by 3.
All right, you get it exactly. I said Saints by 2.5. It is 3. That's ballsy for Vegas to put the Falcons that much of an underdog, but I don't like the Falcons. You're saying you do like them more than people?
No, I do not. I do not like them.
You know what? Hard Knocks really makes it harder on the gambler. It really, doesn't it? Like you get this perception. I don't think many people watch it thinking that Atlanta is going to be the juggernaut that they hope to be. And I didn't like Cincy last year, and they went 10-5-1 against the spread, only because of how they portrayed on Hard Knocks. I like Miami; they were bad in 2012, so I might be done with this Hard Knocks. I might not watch anymore.
We started talking about this when we did our preview of the NFC South, and then I think we got sidetracked, and I never finished the conversation I wanted to have with you because.
Well, forget it; it's too late now.
No, we can still get it.
All right.
Dave Campo. The year that Dallas was on Hard Knocks and Dave Campo was the coach, and within like 2.5 episodes, I was like, oh my God, this guy's never going to make the playoffs. This guy's a jackass. And he never made the playoffs and never coached again. But I didn't feel 100% that way about Mike Smith, but I felt like 79% that way.
As soon as Dave Campo appeared in that suit at SeaWorld, the sports books, it was a mad rush to bet the under and Cowboys win. That was it.
Here are your first coach fired odds. Your boy Jason Carrot is now plus 200.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen plus 450. Joe Philbin plus 750. Doug Marrone lingering at plus 800.
Wow. That's a good one for me. I don't know why. I really think that's going to be a disaster area there.
And Mike Smith at 12-1 is a nice long shot.
They put the Mike Patton in there, the Browns coach. I mean, that could,
yeah, they did. He's in there. He's 20-1. He hasn't even coached the game yet.
That could happen at any time.
And then a super duper long shot. Mike Tomlin, 40-1. Never know.
Nice.
Just never know.
Wow. What about Gus Bradley? Isn't he in there at some point?
Yeah, he's in like the 1200s. So the Bills go. They're at Chicago week 1. Home against the Dolphins in week 2. The Dolphins are good on the road perennially. Mm-hmm. They have they're terrible at home and good on the road, and everybody forgets this until week 7.
Yeah.
Week 3, the Bills are home against the Chargers, who you and I both like. Week 4 at Houston. Week 5 at Detroit. Week 6 home for the Pats. That sounds like 0-6 to me, potentially.
Yeah, it's not like the current ownership doesn't see the schedule. Don't you think they should take whatever they can from John Bon Jovi and the bass player from White Lion? Just do it. This is going to be bad first slate for this team.
We need Bon Jovi in the league. All right, let's keep going.
Cincinnati at Baltimore.
My initial pick for this was Bengals by 2.5, and then I was like, wait a second, I like the Bengals much more than most people probably do. So I think the Ravens will be favored. They've always been good at home. I don't like the Ravens that much this year, but I have the Ravens by 2.5.
All right, you're going to get it. I went a little high. I said 3, and it was 2.5. It's 2 now, so you're closer. Baltimore by 2, and I had the same reasoning. I think Cincinnati's better. I kind of cheated a little on the lines. I'll say this isn't boding well for me so far, but I'm down 3-2. But I looked the over/under wins for each team and compared them, and then try to do the lines. But I don't like the Ravens.
Well, hold on. We're going to get back to this, but we should mention that you're always over the top with gambling and lines and research, everything. This year, you're way over the top, like to the point that I'm a little nervous because you're emailing me these articles from weird websites that I've never heard of. Where like, hey, look, Jackass29 wrote this great piece about underdog spreads. And the reason is because you're on SportsCenter every Friday this year making picks.
Yes, that's right.
And I feel like you've lost your mind. This is the first time I feel like you've gone into a beautiful mind level of just research, because you've emailed me. I've been on the internet since 1996. I've been writing a sports column on the internet since 97. You've sent me links to websites I've never heard of.
Well, I think this internet is fantastic. If you checked it out, it's got a lot. But no, I think I'm just waiting for you to tell me to calm the F down. And
I love it. I keep going. But one of the things you emailed me, which was a great link, was there's been 3 times in the last 10 years where the favorites just went haywire for whatever reason. Last year was one of the years. The favorites covered over 52% of the games, which hasn't happened in a while. Every time that happens, Vegas does well and gamblers get killed because gamblers have been trained to think underdog, always take the points.
Yeah.
You and I, one of the reasons we got murdered last year. But this article said that the year after that happens, Vegas adjusts, and they adjust so violently the other way that actually it's an underdog frenzy the following year. So we have our eye on that now.
By 6% on the average. So
right.
Yeah. So it's looking like underdogs this year, and especially underdogs in September. I went crazy analyzing this, but you remember last year, there were some weeks where we could find a spread over 5 points.
Right.
So Vegas just made everything low and threw their hands in the air, and the favorites ended up on top for the first time forever.
And here's one of them where you have the Bengals getting points. We both think the Bengals are a better team than the Ravens.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
Ravens have been good at home.
Yep. Yeah, this is kind of a defining game for the Ravens. I'm not going to say must win.
No Ray Rice.
No Ray Rice for the first couple of games.
I emailed Robert. There's been so many suspensions this year that I emailed Grantland's Robert Mays. And
good guy.
basically demanded that he does an article before the season starts of all the suspensions that have happened and rank them in terms of importance for the first whatever many weeks, because there's been so many. It feels like almost every team has had a major one. Like you had Skandrick, right?
Yeah.
He's out for 4.
Yep.
Even Rice being out too. Like that's a pretty big thing. And then you have San Francisco. Like they have at least 3 guys who are out probably for week 1 if McDonald gets suspended in time. But just going down the line, it's like I can't even remember who's on what team anymore.
No, it's hard to keep track, and it's hard to get in a rhythm. And by no means does this mean as a gamblers we'll be able to take advantage of this, but it's fun to talk about.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so, Jacksonville and Philly. So now you're up 3 games to 2. When we split, when we get a tie, we each count that as a win. So you're up 3-2.
Which nobody in America likes that rule.
Oh, they don't like that, huh?
Nah, nobody likes that rule.
Well, I just circled the numbers and then I don't know, I add them up.
People hate that rule.
All right.
I keep doing it. I like when you antagonize America. I had this as the only double-digit favorite, and I'm probably wrong, but I just couldn't imagine a scenario where I took the Jaguars getting less than 10 points. So I have the Eagles by 10.5.
Oh, wow. All right. Now, here's the thing. Where you say you didn't look at the line, and now this is like you haven't been off by more than a half point. I have to take you to task here. I think you're lying. 10.5 it is. I said 9.
I didn't look at the lines.
I know. You keep saying that.
I would never debauch the integrity of this game.
All right.
I love this game.
Now, listen. This is...
I told you I've spent a lot of time preparing this year, and I couldn't think of a scenario where I would take the Jaguars that wasn't double figures. I'm not taking them at 9.5.
And you and I both know, and I'm really analyzing this from my stupid Sports Center segment. The double-digit favorites don't cover, right? No. Maybe they'll cover this game, but they don't cover 7 out of 10. So,
in fact, you could make a case. And I really thought about doing this for the Super Contest. We both signed up for the Super Contest 2 weeks ago, and I thought about putting in a second team, and that second team would just be the rules, like double digit, just take the underdog.
Right, yeah.
Seattle at home, just take Seattle every time. Pats at a night game, Denver at a night game, take them every time. Like, there's these little rules that you follow, and you're probably just going to win every time you do it, or at least 70% of the time.
Week 1 last year, the Colts were like a 10-point favorite over Oakland, and everyone had them as their eliminator pick, and and it barely won. The Colts barely won. I think Janikowski missed a chip shot at halftime. Otherwise, they lost by 3. No reason to take Jacksonville other than this dumb rule. They have 4 of the first 6 on the road, but if they pick up where they left off, maybe they stay close.
I don't mind the Jags this year. I don't think they're going to be that bad.
No.
What do you think?
It's just hard to improve so much when you don't have any like blue chip players and just big scorers. Like Henny, Cecil Shorts the third never stays healthy. I don't even know who he's throwing the ball to.
Right. This is it. That's a team that might bloom a little bit later in the year.
A little bit, yeah.
But I feel like everyone has to make a decision on the Eagles, and I think I'm closing in on mine.
You are.
Year 2 of Chip Kelly. There's a narrative here that I kind of like, where you could just say, this guy, year 2, they know the system now. This is just going to be a juggernaut. And they're just going to score a ton of points every game. And it's going to become, like, by the end of September, you start thinking, all right, what's the relevant story right now? What's the big story? What's the story everyone's talking about? It could be the Eagles are just awesome and Chip Kelly's awesome. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's in the mix.
Yeah. Oh, I'm afraid that's the case. I said the Eagles could win that division for the next 10 years. It could be trouble, but
that division looks horrible. I don't know who the second best team in that division is. I've gone through the Redskins, I've gone through the Giants. I guess the Giants probably have the best case just because they at least finally got rid of Gilbride and fixed their offense, and they're going to do this West Coast thing. And I actually like the way it sounds. Defensively, I don't think they're going to be very good, but that's your best chance for 9-7 out of those 3 teams.
Well, we made fun of the NFC East all last year, weren't they? All like sitting at 2-5 at one point. And seven's going to win this division.
And then the Eagles got hot. Right. Do you think Jay Gruden's going to be a good coach? I think.
By the way, the Eagles got hot. The Cowboys were one Kyle Orton drive away from winning that division. But I know everyone remembers the Eagles beating the Redskins by 60 the opening night. But
the problem is you lost to Marcus Ware, and And you don't have Skandrick for the first 4, and it just feels like the cap situation that Jones had been mangling. Like, this is really like you're paying the Reaper this year.
Right. I'm saying the Cowboys, I don't think we're going to be in the mix at all, but I'm just saying.
Well, we're going to get to them. Save your thoughts.
All right.
All right, let's keep going.
What are we? Washington at Houston.
I'm a little flummoxed by Houston because they have all the makings of being this year's Chiefs because of the schedule. Is you just go through their schedule and you're like, oh my God, like they don't have a hard game the whole season except for at Indy. It's amazing. It's very reminiscent of the Chiefs last year. But then on the other hand, Ryan Fitzpatrick, people are just like, oh yeah, the Texans might be good. It's like, when has Ryan Fitzpatrick ever been good for more than a month? And I don't know anything about that Bill O'Brien guy. I mean, he's the quarterback coach for the Pats. He's at Penn State. Like, does this mean he's going to be like this up-and-coming head coach? Like, he might be terrible.
Well, maybe you're concentrating on the wrong Ryan. Maybe it's Ryan Mallett that's going to do the trick there in Houston.
Well, anyway, I vacillated between 3 and 3.5, and I have Texans by 3.
All right. Well, we're going to split that one. It's 2.5 currently.
Oh.
So you've won or tied the last 4. This is bad.
The Redskins are a live dog.
They're a live dog?
Well, I'd say I don't know if home field's going to matter for Houston. I think the fans are still kind of bummed out by that team a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
It could matter if they get good again, but I think if they go down 7-0, I think the fans are going to be like, oh my God, what happened to us?
There's one team, I don't think they're going to be that good. I don't know why I don't think they're going to be that good. Like you said, they have the easiest schedule in the league. They have one of the best drafts. And it's definitely a winnable division. The Colts struggle to win 10, and they're on top every year, it seems. But
right.
This will be the team I'm wrong about. I'm certain of it.
The Texans?
Yeah.
You think they're going to be better than you think, or worse than you think?
I think they're going to be better than I think. So now I've covered myself completely. But yeah,
I think they have the highest variance of what their wins could be. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they got to 11 wins, as ridiculous as that sounds. But I also wouldn't be shocked if they went 2-14.
Could be.
Anywhere in between 2 and 11, I wouldn't be shocked by.
Yep. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Ooh. This feels like one of those games that you talk yourself into the Browns all week, and you think they actually have a chance to win. You might even bet on the money line a little bit, and then Pittsburgh wins 34-14.
Right.
And we've seen Roethlisberger win this game 3 times a year, and I think 2 out of those 3 times every year I lose on the underdog money line, and I'm tired of it.
Sounds about right.
I have the Steelers by 7.5.
Okay, well, I think we split this. I said 6.5, and it's 7, so we do split it. Yeah. Another split. Yeah, I think you're right. Pittsburgh was like 27-2 against rookie quarterbacks in their first game ever, so they did the right thing in starting Hoyer over Manziel. I think they made hold on, wait. Oh, the Browns just fired Mike Pettin.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Support Mike Pettin. This season hasn't even started.
That's it.
What are they doing?
I'm reading the crawl right now. We forgot to wear deodorant to the team luncheon, so they let him go.
We had our fantasy draft last Monday, and I spent $5 on Josh Gordon under the flyer that he would somehow do some sort of lawsuit or something. I stand by the $5. It was worth the gamble.
Can I just say, well, now you do, but you called me later that night. You did a classic thing, and you ended up with one of the better teams, so I'm not even going to say anything. I can't say too much about it. But in these auction drafts, you can kind of leave the draft as soon as your team your slots are filled. So you could have 18 players, and someone else could have 9 players. So you went through it. You were pretty focused. You know what you wanted. You got Josh Gordon. You got your 18 players, and then you left for an Emmy party. We did it Monday night, a post-Emmy party, and then you called me. I don't know if you felt bad or what. Yeah, you called. And so
I was overserved that night. I don't even remember that.
Overserved, I think. Hold on. I think I have it here. Hold on.
Cousin Sal, Sports Guy here. Just want to check in, let you know I'm all right. And I left the draft early. I'm at a post-Emmy party hosted by my new bestie and favorite late-night talk show host ever, Seth Meyers. If only Seth could learn to play quarterback in the NFL, I'd kick Russell Hustle and bustle Man Muscle Wilson to the curb faster than you could say Benedict Cumberbatch. Anyway, I made a lot of mistakes tonight, spending $5 on Josh Gordon at our draft, mixing skinny girl and vodka with peach schnapps, and a few minutes ago, mistaking Peter Dinklage for a trash receptacle. I'm so ashamed right now, especially about the Josh Gordon thing. I swear on Jalen Christ, I had no idea he was about to be suspended. Why did no one report on this during the collectors convention? Such a dumb move. I feel like punishing myself by writing a 15,000-word piece on how Spurs coach Greg Popovich deals with constipation between quarters. I'll get to that first thing tomorrow. Gotta go. Weird Al is saving my place in line at the grilled cheese food truck. Sports guy. Over and out.
Wow, that was like at 3 a.m. Oh, you have a hang up phone. This is new sound effects this year. I didn't realize.
It's weird that your cell phone has a dial tone when you hang up, but nothing surprises me with you.
I tried something crazy in our draft this year, and everybody got really upset about it and thought I was a moron. And then near the end of the draft, people were kind of like, oh, crap, he has 4 of the best 11 quarterbacks.
You did. You took 4 quarterbacks.
I have Stafford for 20, Kaepernick for 11, Foles for 8, and Russell Wilson for 5. I have 4 of the best 11 quarterbacks in our league.
But that's just a headache. What a freaking who wants to deal with that every week?
But all right, so let's say door A, I spent $38 on Giovanni Bernard, which is what he went for, and then 3 $1 guys. Or door B, I spent $15 on C.J. Spiller, who might be better than Bernard anyway, and I got Kaepernick, Foles, and Wilson.
Yeah, that's fine, but you could instead of those 3 guys who you'll start a total of 2 games or 1 game on the Stafford's bye week, why don't you get some depth at receiver or running back? Tell everyone who your running backs are.
Well, first of all, that wasn't the reason I did the 4 quarterbacks. It was partly for trade bait for people like you who are starting Tony Romo.
Oh, how dare you? Okay.
And then second, I'm hurting the rest of the league by having 4 of the best 11 quarterbacks. Now people have to start inferior people.
All right.
And I gave myself depth.
We'll see. I know.
All right, so I have my running backs are Ellington, C.J. Spiller, Toby Gerhart, and Ryan Matthews.
Oh, my
just have
God.
to start 2.
Yeah.
And then wide receivers, I got Cordarrelle Patterson, Roddy White, Brandon Cooks, Percy Harvins, Deshaun Jackson, and Kendall Wright. I'm loaded.
That's fine. You did have like $14 left over, so I don't know.
No, I didn't. I spent every dollar I had.
You spent $14 at the end on someone you could have spent 3, but right?
No.
Didn't you?
No. You forget. See, once again, you don't give me credit.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I had $14 left for 1 spot, and I really wanted Brandon Cooks on the Saints.
Oh, okay.
And I knew other people wanted him. So I had to throw out other receivers waiting to get everybody's money under $14. So I had to spend an extra half hour at the draft bleeding people's money out, and then finally threw out Cooks, and I had the most money, and 2 people were mad that I did that.
All right, I know.
I was very proud of myself.
And the other 8 laughed at you for overspending on Brandon Cooks, but
wait, they'll laugh when he has 90 catches this year and wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year.
This will be fun. Good. I'm glad you're into the fantasy football. You announced in the off season you were done for the 17th time. You retired like Cher.
I'm really excited. I feel like the 4 quarterback strategy, has revolutionized fantasy football as we know it. I feel like this is a seminal moment. I'm the Chip Kelly of fantasy football with what I did here. And you'll be calling me in week 3 for a quarterback.
You're going to be dropping Russell Wilson, dropping him for nothing when you have to open up a slot.
Nope.
Brandon Cooks goes down. And Josh Gordon, you already need a new receiver.
Good, I'm going to waive Josh Gordon. So instead of $1, I spent $5. I overpaid by $4.
There you go. All right, we'll move on. Minnesota at St. Louis.
I like the Vikings this year.
You do, right? You like Mike Zimmer?
I like that team. I like Patterson.
It could be a fun team to root for.
Peterson. Mm-hmm. I think we always talk about sleepers, but people are so good at analyzing the NFL now that there are really no sleepers and no regression teams because everybody can see them coming. Mm-hmm. This Vikings team is a legit sleeper.
The only problem is, as I see it, is the other 3 teams in the division, I don't see them with fewer than 7 wins.
But that's why they're a sleeper, because everybody's looking at those other 3 teams, and nobody has been like, who's going to win that division? The Vikings. And I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I just think they're a really good sleeper candidate, and they had an unbelievable draft.
Mm-hmm. All right, they're an underdog to a team that has Sean Hill as a starting quarterback.
I know. That's another reason why they're a sleeper. And here's another thing. I have the Rams by 4.5 in that game. First Vegas zone pick.
This is I get this one. Okay, finally. I said 4. and it's 3.5.
Oh.
It's down to 3.5. Now, here's the thing.
Who's starting for the Vikings?
It's your boy Castle, right?
I wish they had balled up and just started Bridgewater. Yeah. That guy's going to be good. Everybody knows he's going to be good. That was a steal, and that where they got him in the draft, it was stupid that he fell that far, and he's going to be good.
Yeah, I think, but it's the same theory as like the Browns are employing. Like it's easier to bench Castle, it's easier to bench Hoyer, than it would be to bench Bridgewater or Manziel if they don't have a good game.
If you were the Rams, would you trade like a 6th-round pick for Christian Ponder?
I think so. I'm surprised they didn't get in on that Ryan Mallett stuff.
All right, keep going.
All right, Tennessee at Kansas City.
Is it possible Tennessee wins that division? I feel like it is.
I want to take them. I want to take them this week. I really think I want to. That's a division that's up for grabs. The AFC South.
Division is way up for grabs. They fit a couple. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick them to win that division yet, but they have a couple things going that I like when you talk about like a team that sucked. And then, first of all, they weren't that bad last year.
No.
Locker got hurt last year. Locker's healthy this year. They have a couple game breaker receivers. They got rid of Kenny Britt, who I think was a distraction. They added some people in the draft. And then Wisenhunt. I think Wisenhunt's a good coach.
One of these first-year coach, well, not first-year coach, but it's going to work out for one of these teams. Yeah.
Wisenhunt was a really good coach who shot himself in the foot over and over again with the quarterbacks he picked to stake his claim in Arizona with. And he just kept picking the wrong guys.
Yeah.
But he made the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner.
Look out for Zach Mettenberger. Could be starting for this Tennessee team if Locker doesn't produce.
It could be, you look at the schedules that all those AFC South teams have, and it could be a very soft 10-6, either get you into the playoffs or get you a wild card.
Right.
And I think they have a really good chance to go 10-6, even though there's a lot going on. Like they switch defenses. Jake Locker, we haven't seen him play a really good full season yet. All this stuff, but I think they're a chance to go 10-6.
Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator, one of my favorites, employs the 3-4. They could be okay.
I have the Chiefs giving 5.5 to the Titans, and I love the Titans.
Oh, you're gonna nail it. I said 6. I don't know why I went so high, but it's 5, so you're closer.
Vegas zone.
5, 6, 7 to 5. You're up, including the ties. Now, explain to people. Vegas zone is when the spread is between 4.5 and 5.5.
Yeah, 4.5, 5, or 5.5. Usually, Vegas wants to put it at either 4 or 6 because 6 they'll get teaser money on it, and then 4 and under it's just between 4.5, 5, 5.5. You can't tease it. It's just in this no man's land.
And it's usually a screwed up game, right?
It usually means they don't know how to evaluate it totally, so they just kind of throw it in there. And that's where they're just hoping the action goes both ways, but it's not a great number. And I think so many people are down on this Chiefs team for real reasons. Like, who the hell likes this Chiefs team? They overachieved last year anyway. They lost a lot of guys, and they had one of the most traumatic playoff losses of this century. It's really hard to make a case for them.
I don't know. I don't really understand the Alex Smith sign. Anyone could turn around and say Tony Romo's way overpaid, but I don't think you should get as many millions. Your quarterback rating should be more than the millions you get, right? Like if you have a 57 quarterback rating, you shouldn't get $68 million for ever how many years. And I know all he does is win, but come on.
It's a weird one. I mean, the case against this Titans pick, if we like it for our underdog pick of the week, is Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah. Tough place to win. I have the Chiefs under 8.5 or 8. That's one of my big bets this year.
I don't like them at all.
New England at Miami.
I had trouble with this one. Did
I have trouble with this one? I'm just going to circle whatever number you pick here because I was way off.
I had the Pats by 5.5.
Wow. You didn't have trouble with this one. You looked at these lines. I can't stand it.
I swear I didn't look at these lines.
It's Pats by 5, and I thought it would be Pats by 1.5. I was way, way off in this.
But you forgot that this is, I remembered in week 1 something you'll remember in week 5. The Dolphins at home are not good.
Didn't they beat New England last year at home? It was one of I know they suck at home, but this was one of their few wins at home.
I thought Brady threw for like 520. Oh, no, you're right. We lost in the last 2 minutes.
You lost. And I think like the Dolphins have a lot of trouble against good tight ends, so it could come down to Gronkowski.
Gronk's playing.
He's definitely playing?
Yeah.
All right. We're recording this on a Monday.
They announced that it was on the website today on ESPN.
You scoffed at it, but I bid $22 on Gronkowski.
No.
The tight end.
It was a really nice gamble. It's just I have too much at stake with him. I had him on my fantasy teams last year and my real team, and when he gets hurt, it's a life ruiner.
No. You said, these were your exact words. You said, it's not worth it if I'm not bidding on him.
Well, I felt that way. I thought it was a little high.
We weren't able to talk about this on the Vision podcast, but Logan Mankins.
Yeah.
What Brady's fifth. I talked to him. That's big, isn't it big?
No, he's a guard. And he was slipping the last couple of years. He was an unbelievable Patriot. But
it's familiarity, though. You're not you don't throw your kid's favorite toy out, right?
They had other guys they liked, and they really needed a tight end. And that guy Tim Wright, it's only his second year, and he caught a lot of passes last year for a bunch of different quarterbacks and a weird offense and a weird situation. They just like him.
Well, I mean, you have obviously given up on Aaron Hernandez. I guess you don't.
I have. I don't think he's coming back.
You're one of those guys.
We got like $7 million in cap space for it too, so they have some other move they're going to make at some point.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the trade. I just love Logan Mankins. I thought he was a great Patriot.
Well, that's a Vegas zone pick, and I don't know. I mean, I think good. I'm glad I'm alone in loving the Dolphins this year. See what happens this game.
Here's the thing: the Pats start out at Miami and at Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
If they go 2-0 in those games, it's on. They have a chance to go 14-2.
Wow. All right.
But they could also, they could lose to Miami, and then in Minnesota, Peterson goes nuts, and you're 0-2, and everybody's like, oh my God, is this it for the Pats? So
it's a big game.
They will be prepared for that Dolphins game. I like this Pats team a lot. I think they're going to be really good.
Wow. All right, talk about must-wins. Oakland at the Jets.
Oh.
Maybe a must-tie. I wouldn't say a must-win, but definitely a must at least tie.
I think people are down on this Jets team a little more than maybe they should be.
Yeah, maybe.
Weren't they 8-8 last year? Well,
they did. They were up until the very end. They were in it, but the big signings with Decker and Chris Johnson, who seemed like just what do they call it? What does Barnwell call it? What is it? A team fit? No, something fit where it just fits in the organization they were in. It might not work where they are.
Right. Even if Chris Johnson doesn't work out, you can always find a running back to run around. Think about how many guys started in our fantasy league last year.
Yeah.
I like their defense. They had one of the best defenses in the league.
They do.
Last year, kind of under the radar. And Geno's a year older, and their schedule's not that hard. I think they could go 9-7, 10-6 potentially.
It's so funny. The entire AFC East has the exact opposite problem than everyone else. Their defense keeps them in games. Jets, Dolphins, Bills keep their defense. The big names keep them in games more than they should be.
Here are their first 6. Home Raiders. I think we both think they win that.
Mm.
At Green Bay, week 2, that's a loss.
Yeah.
Home for the Bears, week 3.
Mm.
That's kind of their swing game for how they're season. Oh, they have the Bears and the Lions at home in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So let's say they split those. They're 2-2. Now they're at San Diego, week 5.
Right.
That's a tough one. So they could be 2-3 after 5 weeks. Oh. And then they're home for Denver, week 6. Their schedule, oh, God. And then they're week 7 at New England. I take it back.
Really bad.
I'm back. I was thinking of another team. That's a tough first 7 weeks.
Yeah, I wrote down weeks 5 to 10 at San Diego, Denver at New England, Buffalo at KC, and Pittsburgh.
Well, they need to win this game.
Yeah.
I apologize, America. I mixed up them in my head with somebody else. Who has the easy schedule in the AFC East?
The easiest?
Is it?
I guess it would be the Bills, but I mean, except that they have to play the
Maybe
Patriots.
It's the Pats that have the easy schedule. I blanked.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's an easy game week 1. The Raiders are going to be off, Hogan.
What's your pick for line?
I have the Jets by 6.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? I said 6.5, and it's 5.5, so you get it.
The Jets really want us to tease them.
You're crushing
I'm not doing
it.
I'm not listening to the Jets.
I might not tease it, but I am betting minus 3,700 that Chris Berman brings up the Heidi Bowl.
Oh, interesting.
Could do it.
Has he done that before?
When the Jets play the Raiders? I think.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if he does. Raiders are the oldest team in the NFL, 27 years old.
So
what was
potentially,
did you still have that page up for Rex Ryan?
the what?
After that schedule, Rex Ryan could be a nice long shot.
Got it. Well, if the Raiders beat the Jets in week 1, their whole season could go to crap.
Yeah.
I like their team, though.
Yeah. All right. Now we go to the Sunday afternoon, the late afternoon games, of which there are 2.
What do we think was the best early game?
Best game? Well, not Green Bay Seattle's Thursday, obviously, and then
I think Ravens-Bengals is the most interesting one for me.
Might be your guys in Miami.
That's up there, too. You like the Dolphins. We should have mentioned. You think they have a chance to win the division. Okay.
Maybe New Orleans, Atlanta, too, if Atlanta shows anything.
Right.
There's a few good ones, but only 2 late afternoon games. You know why?
Because God hates us?
God hates us, and CBS loves the U.S. Open more than football.
I have a real problem with that.
I hate it.
What are the 2 games? Let's talk about them.
Well, it's San Fran at Dallas and Carolina at Tampa Bay. But, I mean, really, so CBS doesn't have any late afternoon games. It almost always rains in New York the week leading up to the finals. And we're going to have 4 p.m. on a Sunday. Instead of watching New England, Miami, we're going to have Thomas Burdick and Grigor Dimitrov in the semifinals. Give me a freaking break, Billy.
I mean, Mike, Kaepernick could be up 38-0 in Dallas in third quarter.
What are we left with?
I love tennis, but come on.
That's our Mad Dog impersonation, Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have thrown a third NFC game in there. God.
Yeah, do something. Especially.
I guess the problem is that Seahawks-Packers is Thursday night, so 2 NFC teams off the board. And then Lions-Giants is Monday night. They lost the Cards on Monday night, so maybe they just didn't have enough NFC teams.
I guess not. And there's 2 Monday nights, like you said. San Fran at Dallas.
I had a lot of trouble with this one because it's either 3 or 3.5, and I didn't have the balls to pick 3.5. I have the Niners by 3.
Wow. All right, so I'm going to get this one. I picked it exactly. It was actually 2 days ago. It was 6, and it went down to 5, and that's what I said after the McDonald's suspension. Yeah.
He hasn't even been suspended yet. We're just projecting.
Yeah, we're projecting. He's going to get suspended. I think San Fran feels so bad for the Cowboys defense that they're picking up stupid ways to get suspended just to level the playing field.
I think that line's too high.
No.
Why isn't that a 3-point line? What? First of all, we see this every year, and I really think the Niners are this year's version of it. And I'm gonna predict them accordingly throughout the first few weeks. I just don't think the Niners are that good anymore. They lost a lot of dudes.
Maybe they're not, and I'm not doing a Lou Holtz thing where I on my team just to make it, then I'm surprised when they win. But this already terrible Dallas defense is going to be even worse this year.
Well, and you don't have Skandrick and Ware for that first game. You'll never have Ware back.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Ware back. Sean Lee, it goes on and on and on.
But you'll be able to score on the Niners this week.
Well, that's the thing. I guess we'll be able to score. So this if there is going to be one game, it should be entertaining at the NFC for late afternoon. But
I also think the Niners have a lot of miles in them the last 3 years, too.
Yeah.
They had 3 horrible playoff losses. They went deep in the playoffs each year. They were in a really physical division. They're certainly not better. I don't think anybody on the planet thinks they're better than they were last year. They've lost a lot of players the last 2 years, and they've had a lot of weird stuff going on. The Aldon Smith, losing him for 9 games is a disaster.
Yeah, it's
bad. I don't know. I think there's a lot of red flags with this Niners team, and I also think it's interesting that Harbaugh tried to get out of there. Never fully denied that story either. I mean, he made a fuss about, how does that come out? But never said, whoever said that is lying. I don't know. It seems like he kind of put out some Cleveland feelers.
That would have been easy. Oh, wait. Now I'm reading the scroll. Entire Niners secondary just got arrested at a Maroon 5 concert. They charged the stage and urinated on the bass player. Wow.
It's really fallen to hell.
Yep, down to 4.5 now.
I think there's some real red flags with that Niners team.
All right, so you
have a live upset chance in week 1. All right, so let's say you win that. You're at Tennessee week 2.
Don't do this to me.
You're at Rams week 3. You could be. Let's say you shock Tennessee week 2. Now you're winning in St. Louis over Sean Hill week 3.
And then
you're home for the Saints week 4. You're 3-0.
Don't you dare do this to me.
Week 5, you got the Texans at home. That's an easy one.
Oh, come on.
Week 6, at Seattle's going to be a problem.
That's what you're doing. 2 and 3 with Locker and Sean Hill are the Cowboys' only chance of making a move.
What's your week 7 game? The Bills?
Not going to be a game.
No. Who do you have in week 7?
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
Frustrated already. All right, second game, Carolina at Tampa Bay.
Oh, nobody likes Carolina this year.
Pick your line, and then we'll talk about the problems.
I love the Bucs. It made me mad that Sports Illustrated picked the Bucs to win the NFC South.
Yeah.
Not that matters, but I don't like. I was really like this Bucs team, and now it feels like people are kind of sniffing them out a little, and I don't like it. I have the Bucs by 1.5.
Yeah, you're going to get it. I said 2.5, and it's 1. And I love that game. I love Tampa Bay.
I do too.
Carolina, I know
what's better right now?
I know, but then it's going to be close, and we're going to lose in overtime or something stupid.
We're winning. We're winning on the Bucs today.
Really?
We're winning on the Bucs Sunday. We love the Bucs.
Let's just admit
it. Let's just give into it. We love the Bucs.
We do. Love the Bucs.
I think they win that division.
I love them over. The over-under's low. It's 7. You have to jump on that.
Yeah. Don't think you're not going to get an email from me over the next 24 hours with a bunch of ridiculous bets I want to do, because it's coming. And one of them is Bucs to win the NFC South.
I love it. I love Lovie Smith.
I love Lovie Smith, too. The guy wins. He's won. He's a winning record.
And Carolina, what are you going to do when they're 1-7 and out of the playoffs? I think Williams and Stewart should get every offensive play. That should be their punishment for ruining this team's salary cap.
Well, it does scare me that the regression teams this year is so obvious.
I know.
And it's just Chiefs, Panthers. Like, you just cross them off. You don't even think about it. Lovie Smith, 81-63 over the course of his career.
Mm-hmm.
He won double-figure games 4 out of 9 times. His last 3 years before he got fired, he was 29-19.
Yeah.
Made a Super Bowl. Really could have, in 2010, when Cutler got hurt in that playoff game, had a chance to make that Super Bowl. And they upgraded from Greg Schiano and that total disaster of a season behind the scenes to Lovie Smith. What am I missing?
Rated best free agent signings, that Alteron Vernon, hugely underrated cornerback in the NFL. They did everything.
And we like Josh McCown. Josh McCown's confident. Doug Martin's
him.
back.
I like the other guy too.
Yeah, I like the Bucs.
I like Mike Glennon. I like them all.
And when they're losing 27-3 on Sunday, and I text you like we should have known we ruined their season, I'm going to feel bad. But right now, I really like the Bucs.
Then we're going to hope that they all get MRSA again, just like last year.
Let's go Sunday night.
Sunday night, Indy at Denver.
This is one of the 3 games I had a lot of trouble with. I have the Broncos by 7.5.
All right, we're going to split this one. I said 8.5, and it's currently 8.
So here's what's going to end up happening. We're going to tease the Seahawks and Bears, and then we're going to have a 4-team, 6-point tease. Seahawks, Bears, Steelers, and then Broncos as the last piece.
Right.
And then I'm going to text you right before the game after we won the first 3. Like, hey, let's take the Colts money line. You're going to be like, no, we always lose when we do that. And then the Colts are going to win and we'll lose. Does that sound good? Does that sound like a good week 1 start for us?
Who did Denver play last? I remember I texted your buddy Gus. I emailed him our text exchange. We were way over the top with Denver. Denver was looking terrible at half, and then they blew somebody out. It was the Thursday night game, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was. Wasn't it the Packers?
Was it against the Packers?
Yeah, somebody. They killed somebody in the second half. They scored. Remember, Peyton had 6 touchdowns.
Oh, the text exchange. Hilarious. Peyton is off. He's done. We wrote him off for good. Never get an endorsement again.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a fired up Denver team. I also am not a fan of that Colts team.
No, I don't need that. I'm waiting for someone. They win that division by fault. But
the running backs suck. I mean, if you're picking them to go deep in the playoffs, it is a bet on Andrew Luck and Andrew Luck only, because there's not enough surrounding stuff. I don't like the way they manage their salary cap. The Trent Richardson trade was an atrocity. They have that weird Jim Irsay stuff going on. I think there's some red flags with that team.
But with that, we take you now to the comments of one Andrew the Giant Luck. Andrew, you have the difficult task of facing an angry Peyton Manning. You upset his Broncos last season. What are your chances to repeat in the Lumberjack match?
Well, you can never discount what Peyton Manning does. We've had some success in Denver, there's no doubt. But we're just going to go and play a great game. Peyton's a pleasure to watch. He's been an inspiration. And I'm going to do my best to play him.
I like it. And I'm imagining the facial hair, too. It's a good match. I think you did it just for the character.
I did. Listen, when I commit to a character, I commit.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Monday night, 2 games. We love the Monday nights. These are
Giants,
great.
This is great. Giants at Lions.
This was the third game that I had trouble with this week, because you could have talked me to Lions by 3 and you could have talked me to Lions by 6.
By the way, all this trouble you had, you crushed me. You're up 11-7, including the ties.
I am really, really well prepared this year. I'm not letting what happened last year ever happen again. I have the Lions by 6.
All right, I hit this one exactly. I said 5, another Vegas zone game. 5-point favorite, Detroit Lions. And don't you get the feeling this game's going to tell you nothing? Like both teams can win in a rout, or either team can get blown away, and we still won't learn anything about them.
I'm not going to pretend that I'm Mr. Football, but I did watch the Giants the last few years, and even when they beat the Pats in the Super Bowl, they never felt to me like a team that knew what they were offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I hated Gilbride's offense. I have a few Giant fans friends, so do you.
Yeah.
Was there a single Giants fan on the planet who's like, hey, we're in good hands with Gilbride? Like, the offense was terrible.
Yeah.
And I thought they used Eli incorrectly, and I'm really interested to see how he does in this new offense. I think it could be good for him.
We got a little bit of a sample, a small one, but they were 5-0 in the preseason, and Eli completed 49% of his passes. So I don't know what we're supposed to be told from that.
They're the best bet in the NFC East to go 9-7, not name the Eagles, I think.
All right, I hate them. I think their offensive line is disgusting.
That's an upset pick for you. You're thinking about in SportsCenter this year just doing all upset picks as your picks.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about staying away from all the night games because it just leads to heartache. Just these other games that are buried, the Oakland Jets, you can maybe have that little edge on, but I'm not good at the night games.
I wish that the Lions I wish I hadn't seen Jim Caldwell coach.
Yeah.
Because they were such a good candidate for the upgrade from the terrible coach to the better coach. And Jim Caldwell, I don't know. I was just never a fan. Never watched a Jim Caldwell Colts team and thought like, whoa, look at that. I just felt like it was just Peyton running the team.
I mean, maybe he's a better disciplinarian than Schwartz. Maybe that's all he needs to do for that.
That's the thing. It might just be addition by subtraction. Yeah, you just put in a mannequin and it'll be better.
But they still have secondary problems, that team.
I wish they had done a better job with their draft. They had such a nice pick, and they took a tight end. Rookie tight ends never work out.
Eric Ebron.
So it was like, it's always a year. The second year is when the tight ends break out. If they had taken, I don't know. I just thought Aaron Donald should have been taken by every team from like 9 on, but what do I know?
This team has to make their move early. I think it gets rough later. First 5, Giants at Carolina, Green Bay at Jets, and Buffalo. I think they could win 4 of those.
Yeah, they need to be 4-1. Weird make or break year for Stafford, right? Like I paid 20 for him in our fantasy league, and some people are like, great pick because he could throw for 5,200 yards.
Sure, yeah.
Or he could get hurt in week 3.
And unlike you, the Lions don't have 7 other premium backup candidates to put in their lineup.
Well, the last game, second game Monday night, a game that you and I'm very worried about how much we're going to bet on this game. San Diego at Arizona.
I love it. 10:20 Eastern start. 10:20 Eastern start. Billy, you're going to have to stay up until 1:30 a.m. on the East Coast to see if Nick Novak got you 5 fantasy points. Are you kidding me?
Hey, dog, I will not be up at 1:10 to watch Carson Palmer's 4th interception.
Oh, come on. That's a joke. It's a joke already.
Pencil in the San Diego 38-10 win right now.
Boy, I like that, too. I don't know if you're kidding around, but what do you think the line is?
I have a confession. I had 4 quarterbacks in our fantasy draft, and Phil Rivers was on the board. And I almost went back in for 5.
Wow.
Yeah, and he only went for like $3 or $4.
Why don't you do? Oh, he went. That's right. Well, why don't you pick up another quarterback to replace Josh Gordon?
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
I have the Cards as really, really mild favorites, only because I don't think Vegas is totally in on this San Diego thing, and nor is America. So I have the Cards by 1.5.
All right, I'm going to just edge out here. I said 2, and it's 3.5.
What?
That is high, and it scares me.
The Chargers are getting 3.5 at Arizona?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Hold on. I just want to build an ATM in my house so I can just take out money as we're doing the podcast.
Man. Well, you just doomed us. I know. I love it, too. I
didn't doom anyone. I didn't doom anybody.
That's as good against the spread win as we're going to have, right? Pick.
It just seems like people are way off on this Chargers team. Like, read some stories about them. It's a very confident team. Like, that's a team that thinks they can make the Super Bowl and win it.
Right. Yeah.
And they got much better this offseason.
I love them.
They had real defensive problems, and they addressed them. They have they can score. They have a really good head coach. I like that team.
McCoy and Pagano, they're doing the good 1-2 punch there. Got Brandon Flowers in free agency. Melvin Ingram's back. I love that team. Love them. 5 of the first 6. Arizona, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Jets, and Oakland. Those I don't know who the 6th team is, but those are 5 of them.
Yeah, they're going to lose the Seattle game, maybe.
Yeah.
Seattle will be favored. That's the only game that would be a real danger game. But
look at those other 5. Yeah.
Yeah, if they win this Cards game, they're really set up.
Well, you could. I'm telling you, over for wins. What is it? 8? I think it's 8 wins.
Yeah, they're really set up. It's too bad we can't gamble on this stuff.
I know.
Because
you're 11-9. You beat me week 1, so you're that much closer to making out with Tony Romo's wife.
I told you I prepared this year.
You are prepared.
So plugs.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. It's a repeat tonight. The Female Friends reunion. Later in the week, Eva Longoria, Wiz Khalifa, Gwyneth Paltrow, Sarah Silverman, and Terry Bradshaw and the Kooks appropriately are on the same night. And I'll have a blog for you on Grantland later in the week, and get me at the Cousin Sal. And Friday night, Sports Center, 6 p.m. I think that's when I'm on it. No one's called me from there yet. Baby doll, our agent, says, "Baby, don't you think you should get in touch with them?" But I'm nervous that the gig is not going to be there. I'm supposed to be picking games on Sports Center Friday at 6. So
I think it'll be there.
You think so?
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm going to be picking up Stan Barrett's dry cleaning. It's going to be a big surprise at the last minute.
You just stumble in, they'll shoehorn you in.
That's right.
Good luck. That was fun. I look forward to making some bad bets with you.
Yes.
That's it for the B.S. Report. Enjoy Labor Day. We will talk to you later in the week.
Good job by you, Billy.
Good job.
So I get to sign off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.